Hey, good day to my fellow learners out there. How are you guys? It's been a long time. Alam ko matagal-tagal din akong nawala dahil sa busy sa work or something. It's my matter. Anyway, today we're going to discuss about types of fractions and on how to convert the improper fraction to mixed form and mixed form to improper fraction. But before anything else, mga ka-learners, good day. Have said earlier, the first that we're going to discuss is about the types of fractions. So, what are those types of fractions anyway? First, di natin patatagalin pa. First, we have the proper fractions. Proper fraction. So what is this proper fraction anyway? How we're going to know if it is proper fraction or not? Okay. According to the definition, proper fraction is numerator is less than denominator. So we have numerator is less than denominator. So that's the first meaning that we're going to have. So the symbol is like this. Okay, the symbol of less than is like this. So you need to practice that kind of symbol. Nalay mo isang araw makita mo ganyang symbol, hindi mo na alam. Pero ngayon dapat mo na alamin na yan po ang ibig sabihin ng less than. So yung N, it stands for numerator and that D stands for denominator. So we have numerator less than denominator. Okay? Or denominator is greater than, oops, we have a typo anyway. It's not something like that. Erase. It is supposed numerator. So sorry for the typo. So sorry for the typo. We're just a human. Always commit mistakes. That mistakes turns out to be our new learning. Okay, don't forget that. So we have denominator. The symbol of greater is like this, greater than the numerator. So it's just the same mga ka-learners. If it was just the same, if the meaning that gives to you is numerator is less than, meaning that numerator is really less than denominator, it only means to denominator is really greater than the numerator. Okay, that's the meaning of proper fraction. Enable for you to really understand what proper fraction is, I will give you some example. We have 1/2. Okay, 1/2 is an example of proper fraction because we have lesser numerator and a greater denominator. Okay. The number above is so-called numerator here, number at the top, and the number in the bottom, the number 2, is the denominator. Do not forget that, our fellow learners, if you don't know what fraction is, kindly watch my first video entitled Fractions. Okay, enable for you to know what really fraction is. And fraction contains of something that we so-called the numerator and denominator. Okay, if there's no numerator, if there's no denominator, that number is not a fraction. Okay, and take note, denominator should not be equal to 0. Okay, if that fraction, example, we have 1/0, it is not a fraction. Why? Because accordingly, denominator should not be equal to 0. Okay? Because there's nothing that you can divide to 0. Okay? Okay, we have some more example here, the 3/4, the 54/56, and the 2/3. Okay, that all of these are improper fraction. Okay, if the fraction has a lesser numerator and a greater denominator, okay, it's easy to identify, right? Okay, alamin mo lang kung ano ang numerator na sinasabi, ano ang numerator na sinasabi at ano ang denominator na sinasabi, you can easily identify what proper fraction is. Okay? Now it's time for you to blow up on your screen and the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Everything is disappeared. To number 2. So what is the number 2 types of fraction? We have the improper fraction. So do you think what is improper fraction? If proper fraction has a greater denominator and a lesser numerator, so do you think, mga ka-learners, what is improper fraction? So we have, in accordance to the definitions, we have numerator is greater than denominator. So we have this kind of symbol. Do not forget that less than is pointing over there. Okay, the mouth is open over there, and number 2 definition is denominator is less than numerator. Okay, it's just the same, mga ka-learners. If someone said to you that numerator is greater than denominator, it is just the same that accordingly denominator is really lesser than numerator, meaning that numerator is really greater than numerator. Numerator is really greater than denominator. It is just the exact what? Opposite of proper fraction, mga ka-learners. Okay, if the proper fraction has a greater denominator, this improper fraction has a what? Greater numerator. So completely opposite. But not just that, learners, we have also or has an equal number on both numerator or denominator. So meaning it can be equal to. So enable for us to understand it well, we need some examples, right? Okay, we need some examples. Okay, here are our example, mga ka-learners. Here, and the numerator is greater than numerator, these are our example: 4/3, 2/3, 5/4, or 10/5. Okay, we have the 4/3, 2/3, 3/4, or 5/4, or 10/5. Okay, it was a joke. Okay, these are the example of improper fraction has a greater numerator and a lesser denominator. Okay, take a look very well, learners. Take a look. This is the numerator and this is our denominator. Okay, it is in accordance to our definitions. Okay, here or has hand, or what happened to me? or has an equal number on both numerator and denominator. So both equal. The numerator and denominator are equal. We have this 4 over 4, 5 over 5, 10,000 over 10,000. Okay? All of these are part of the so-called improper fraction. If the numerator and denominator is equal, or should we say that the numerator is greater than denominator, it's easy to identify that fraction is improper fractions. Nothing more, nothing less, ka-learners. Okay, again, blow up your screen and the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it all disappear again. But it's time for us to proceed to the third types of fractions. So what is the last one? The last one we're going to have the part of fraction or the types of fraction is the mixed number or the mixed fraction. Just the same, okay? The same in terms of concept or everything, but in the name, as we have seen, it is different, right? But it is just the same. According to the concept, to the format, or the definition, mixed number and mixed fraction is really identical in terms of that. But in terms of the name, they have what? They have different surname. The one is mixed and the surname is number, and the other one is mixed and the surname is fraction. But what is this mixed number or mixed fraction? Okay, how we'll able to identify if it is mixed number or mixed fraction? Accordingly, it is the most easy, or should we say it's the easiest types of fraction to be identified. Okay, it's easy to identify this fraction because what? Accordingly, mixed number or mixed fraction is a combination of a whole number and a proper fraction. Okay, it is the combination of a whole number and a proper fraction. We all know that whole number is a counting number that starts from 1, 2, until so on. Okay, in a proper fraction, as like what we have learned earlier, the proper fraction has a lesser numerator and a greater denominator. So we'll see how it looks like here. Okay, we'll see. Learners, we have now our example. We have the 1 and 1/2. Okay, it's easy, right? I know it looks familiar to you because it's already taught to us when we were elementary grade. Like when we were elementary pupil. Anyway, we have 1. 1 is our whole number and 1/2 is our proper fraction. It is the combination of 1 whole number and the 1/2 is the proper fraction. So how can we say that it is a proper fraction? It has a lesser numerator and a greater denominator. It's easy, right? It's easy to identify rather than those two types of fraction that we have discussed a while ago. Okay, that we have discussed earlier, the proper and the improper fraction. Okay, meaning this mixed number or mixed fraction consists of three numbers: the whole number, the proper fraction, the number on the top, and the number in the bottom. Okay, easy, right? So I will give you some more example of mixed number, enable for us to understand it well. We have 3 and 3 over 4. Okay, we have 4 and 2/3. Okay, we have 5 and 10 over 11. 9. We have whole number and a proper fraction. Whole number, proper fraction. Whole number and a proper fraction. So obviously, accordingly, it's the easiest to be identified. Okay, it's the easiest. Okay, hopefully you understand what are the types of fraction. Okay, we'll make some recap. Blow up your screen again. 1, 2. Okay, our quick recap. We have a quick recap that the proper fraction is what? Numerator is less than denominator, or denominator is greater than numerator. These are the example: 1/2, 2/3, 4/5. So the improper fraction, either what improper fraction, accordingly, my fellow learners out there, has a what? Numerator is greater than denominator, or denominator is less than numerator, or numerator is equals equal rather to the denominator. We have 3 over 3, the example of equal. We have 4/3 or 5/4. Okay, the mixed number, accordingly, we have the whole number, yeah, plus the proper fraction, the combination of them. These are the example: 1 and 2/3, 2 and 3/4, and 4 and 6/5. Okay, hopefully you understand it well, my fellow learners out there. What are the difference on the types of fractions?